This one is a quick one on some autocorrect options. There's 3 autocorrect options that you can turn off if you like. One of them automatically creates a hyperlink if you type in a network or internet path. The other 2 options have to do with tables, where one option will allow you to automatically add rows and columns adjacent to the table when you add content in those rows and columns. And the last option will automatically copy a formula that's part of your table down the full length of the table. I've got a worksheet set up so that I can demonstrate the autocorrect auto format as you type options. And I've taken the snip tool and copied a picture of those autocorrect options, which are located in the Excel Options dialog box that can be reached by pressing Alt-F-T and left-clicking Proofing, and then left-clicking Autocorrect Options. It's the second tab. It's the one that's displayed. That's the dialog box we have a picture of showing right there. I'm going to leave these options on because they're on by default. You can turn them off so that what is about to happen with internet pathways, for instance, won't happen. But the first one says replace as you type internet and network paths with hyperlinks. And it's going to do just that. When I type in an internet path to the Microsoft Network homepage, Control Enter, 2 things happen. One is this text string is formatted as a hyperlink. It's blue and it's underlined. And the second thing is, when I hover over it, it is actually a hyperlink. If I left-click on that, I'll be taken to the Microsoft Network homepage. That's an option you can turn off. If you have some reason to type in internet addresses or network pathways and you don't want them to automatically become a hyperlink, you just turn this option off. Hyperlinks are covered more fully in another movie. And moving to the second and third option, which has to do with tables, which are also covered in other movies. The second option, include new rows and columns in table, which again you can turn off. And it's almost self-explanatory enough to figure out what's going to happen. If I add row 13, Control Enter, that row becomes part of the table. Same thing is true if I add a column. Column 4, Control Enter, that column becomes part of the table. Now, I didn't add anything content-wise to cell G19, but we have a number showing 222 because there's a formula in column G, and this has to do with the third option, fill formulas in tables to create calculated columns. If there is a formula in a column, that formula will automatically be copied down the full length of the table. We only added 1 row. The full length of the table increased by 1 row, so the formula, which is the function rand between, was copied down to cell G19. The same thing will be true if I add a formula equal H7, and I just pointed to H7. You can see the formatting for the formula is a bit different than you might be used to seeing. It's referencing columns within the table. Control Enter, and that formula gets copied down the full length of the table in column I. The numbers in column G changed because the rand between function is a volatile function, and every time you recalculate the worksheet, that function will generate another number, a new number. But the point is, if there is a row that's automatically added, if there are formulas associated with any of the columns, they'll be brought down and added to that row in the correct column. Or if you add a formula to a column that you've just created, that formula will be copied down the full length of the table. Cell H19 is blank because it's not a formula, it's content that's put into the cell above it. So that's autocorrect options, auto format as you type. There are 3 options. We can have Excel automatically create a hyperlink to a network or an internet path. And we have 2 options where, when we're working with tables, we can have the table automatically add a column or row if we add content to a column or row that's adjacent to the table. And we also can have the table automatically copy down a formula when we're either adding a row or when we add a column and actually put the formula in that didn't exist before. It'll copy it down the full length of the table.